This is Galactic Glitch, a roguelite inspired by Enter the Gungeon and The Binding of Isaac, only one of which I've played before, which is The Binding of Isaac, and I can definitely see where the inspiration comes from, especially the different boss paths you take and how they unlock new enemies for your runs once you beat them, a feature that I definitely enjoy seeing. But as far as I can tell, this roguelite isn't really focused on having crazy builds that make you go, what's even happening on my screen right now? Instead, this feels more like a game that just has good mechanics, and while you're still getting powers and building towards something, the physics-based combat and dodging and all the unique things you can do in this game feel more like the selling point than having absurd builds. I played this for about 3 hours on our stream, and I had a lot of fun. We got moderately far, didn't really unlock everything, far from it, but you'll just have to see. Highly recommend you check out Galactic Glitch on Steam. It's 50% off right now, making it less than $9, which is kind of a steal. Anyway, here's the gameplay. Enjoy. Now, during our first run, I went with a little bit of a minion build. Those who know me know that that's the first thing I go for when I find it in a video game. However, it turns out that your summoning little minions don't spawn in with you during the boss fight, so they're ostensibly useless for anything meaningful. Also, a gameplay element I haven't explained yet, but is very important. At the bottom left, you have 4 different types of upgrades for your ship. You have the weapon, you have the cohesion, you have a movement speed upgrade, and then you have gravity upgrade, which is just what you use to like pick up things like rocks. Now, besides those things and the power-ups that you get during your run, which will be on the left side of your screen, this is how you shape your build throughout most of your run. Now, these things spawn randomly, so you don't really have much choice over them. However, if you use your glitch tokens, you can re-roll the items and upgrades that are in the room with you. You're also supposed to use these to get to different locations on the map, but I just use them as a recycler from Risk of Rain 2. And then get mad when the RNG doesn't favor me. Now, this first round that we were playing, we already were doing a lot better than we were the last time. We ended up getting some semi-dookie powers, which is basically once you get hit, you fart on the ground, which ended up doing very well against an enemy called the Abyssal Worm, which is one of those enemies with multiple hitboxes. Reminded me a lot of an Isaac enemy. So by allowing it to hit us, totally allowing it, not accidentally allowing it to hit us, we leaked our fumes on the floor. We killed it almost instantly. Turns out that power was really good against that enemy. And then, not long after defeating our wormy foe, we found a power that spawned a missile every time we used our dodge ability. And not only that, we didn't just upgrade our weapon one time, we were almost to the second upgrade on our weapon. We were doing an obscene amount of damage. And then we upgraded our missile ability 2 times until our rocket was redder than Clifford. And here, the epic battle ensued. What the heck? I panicked. I could have done it, I think. Oh no. That was slightly embarrassing. But I knew that I wasn't going to end the stream until I beat that boss, so it was time to lock in. Before we even hit the first boss, we already had 3 powers. That was the same amount we went to the final boss with last time. Not only that, but one of the powers that we picked up, through an object split into 2 missiles, helped tremendously considering that we did upgrade our gravity, allowing us to throw medium-sized objects, which are roughly the size of Pluto or half of Chat's mom. Pick your unit of measurement. Between chucking rocks, large enough that if they impacted the earth, they'd leave the rest of it looking like Arkansas, and our friend from earlier, leaky cohesion, leaving noxious fumes when you get hit. The second boss was a breeze. A fart in the breeze, some might say. We upgraded our legendary passive power, and now our thrown object split into 3 missiles. And after clearing out as much of the map as I could, we were once again faced with Abyssal Worm, who stood no chance against my fumes and my rocks. Now there was really only one thing left to do, is fight the boss that we've been trying to fight for like 4 times in a row. Not before upgrading my rock throw all the way. We didn't get the upgrade all the way to get large objects, so we're going to be throwing medium rocks this whole time. But here's the moment of truth. The behemoth. The boss that once we unlock him, unlocks a whole different section of the map. For Isaac heads, I assume this is similar to beating Mom's foot. At the beginning of the game when you're new, this is essentially a final boss. But in all actuality, this is really just the start of the game. Let's pretend it's a little bit more epic than that. The rocks were rocking, the missiles were missiling, the dodges were dodging, and we were winning. Turns out if you fight a boss, it's kind of just like the tutorial of the main game. It's actually not that hard and we might just be bad. But we beat him and unlocked the next section. Boss orb, ripped from the fabric of space-time using the hub to unlock higher levels of the simulation. Ha ha ha! We've just been simulated. The Tesseract? What the fuck? I remember watching Avengers. What? Oh my god, we did it. We beat the behemoth and we defeated the behemoth with glitch. Woo! Now the next run that we had was probably even more insane. We fully upgraded our weapon system, so we did a lot of damage. We had powers that made our dash ability do like a little shockwave AoE everywhere we went. Then we had cooldown reduction on our dash, and then we had 2 charges of dash. We were dashing so much that the behemoth gave me a tip when I delivered the missiles. This run, however, was much the same as the other one. I didn't get much farther. I didn't even get to the next boss. So I feel like it's kind of a redundant moot point to show you that run. So I guess if you want to see more, you're just going to have to like and subscribe and maybe even follow on twitch.tv/RD Thursday. It's only up from here, everybody. Make sure to grab Galactic Glitch on Steam. It was super fun, so make sure to grab it before the Steam sale ends. Swag2069 signing out.